Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does!
And that might be the knockout punch.
Greetings and salutations. Great to be seen, great to be heard, especially after a FAMU victory. Like I see, I decided to cover it up a little bit, wolfing it out a little bit, getting ready for Halloween in my house. So trying to grow the beard out, grow hair out a little bit. But then we're going to get back to our regular scheduled haircuts. But that being stated, forewarn you, especially for those listening via Anchors, Spotify. This might be a long episode. We got a lot to talk about. In the words of one of my favorite movies, Smokey and the Bandit, we got a long ways to go and a short time to get there. Watch old Bandit run. But as we start the show, big shout out HBCU Digital Network. This is home. If you haven't already figured out, home of the Fangs Up podcast. Also home to Black Techies, the Black Techies host Herb Stewart. He is an Alabama State University Marching Hornet graduate, and they will be going next week at 6 p.m. on Saturday, October the 8th. They run twice a week, 2 Saturdays a month, and they will be running at 6 p.m. next week. You can look at them at theblacktechies.com, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. They're everywhere, y'all, and they are very knowledgeable, very smart people, good people, man, good people. Called text Herb yesterday, and he responded during the Alabama State game. He didn't wait till after, like, let me win this game first, and wish his team well, and they won. Congratulations. Also, Cable Busters, get local channels, live sports, premium movies for $35 per month on up to 3 devices. Like, come on, y'all see how much these cable boxes are costing these days and in these times. I'm turning my brightness down just a little bit. All right, so let's start it out. Now, obviously, football is going to be the thing that you probably want to talk about right in the moment, but we can't neglect all the other sports. There's a reason why homecoming is when it is. It's because it's kind of a celebration of all the fall sports. And we're going to start off by talking about men's basketball. Like, all right. Men's basketball fall practice has begun. If you look on social media, you can start to see that they're rounding the troops. And we also got a commitment. He probably goes by KJ, but it looks like Kaji or Kajai Parker, 6'1" point guard from Winter Haven High School. I happen to know the golf coach personally. I married his daughter. So their point guard, he has committed to Florida A&M University, and that's not our only commitment. We got another one coming up, but we'll get that in a second. Also, mentioning the golf team, FAMU's golf team is supposed to play at the Georgia State Invitational. That's going to be in Duluth, Georgia, outside. That's suburb of Atlanta. Atlanta has like 100 suburbs. Duluth is one of them. I believe Duluth may be in North Atlanta. Don't judge me, though, because I'm not from Atlanta. But that is going to be taking place tomorrow and Tuesday. At least it's scheduled tomorrow and Tuesday. So hopefully the golf team makes it up there. And the softball team, FAMU softball, fall ball has begun. And you will get very tired of seeing one of my alma maters, Tallahassee Community College. FAMU is going to play TCC on Wednesday, October the 6th, fall ball scrimmage. Very traditional. Very often we see FAMU and TCC play each other, and at times TCC gives FAMU the business. So let's hope the Rattlers get some quality work, but also, get to see a few players, get a little scouting, unofficial scouting. Two to me, two to you. Anyways, and the other big thing for the day, FAMU Volleyball. If you did not watch that, I'm not going to hit you with the old church line of if you didn't watch it, you missed a treat. Because if you didn't watch it, you missed some really crappy video coverage. Like, man, seemed like every time there was a timeout anytime something happened, the feed cut out. But if you could watch it in between, I came in, we were down 2-0. It's like, well, I'm gonna watch this last set, but man, why are we gonna lose to Alabama State today? And yeah, not today, Satan. Thou shalt not defeat the SWAC champion, Florida A&M University volleyball team. Not today. So FAMU came back. It was furious comeback too. Like somebody lit a fire under some tails because we were down 2-0. Then I kind of checked the feed, watched the feed, tried to keep up with it. Then, I'm like, okay, we want to set 2-1. All right, not going out without a fight. Then 2-2. Okay, we're tied now. Then that last set, the feed cut out. It pretty much, for all respective terms, it cut out. That thing was so slow. It was terrible. But come out, and I was like, well, I'll check the Twitter page. I'm gonna check the FAMU volleyball Twitter page. They're very good about updating it. We come out with the victory, 3-2. And that was a tough watch, though. If you can go back and watch it, hopefully their feed isn't as choppy. It just seems like the feeds on campus are rather choppy, just in general. Even FAMU's campus looks like the Wi-Fi. I like to joke and say the Wi-Fi, but the Wi-Fi is pretty choppy up in those areas. So, yeah, got to win. Needed that win to make sure that we continue to reign as the SWAC champions. And so that we can continue to rule and win. See somebody in the comments here. So yes, we won big in football. Look at you. You see where I'm going. Look, I appreciate you, Gilbert. And so that is the next place we're going, but not before I talk about on Monday, tomorrow. FAMU continues to reside deep in the heart of Dixie, where stars fell upon Alabama. How do I know it says that on the back of your bumpers? I'm from North Florida. I've seen it enough. FAMU is going to go up to Alabama A&M, and we're going to play the Bulldogs. I wonder if we get to play them at the new venue. That would be pretty cool. Hopefully we do. That's going to be Monday. Don't have the time. But we also got a verbal commitment. Signee Humes from Homewood, Alabama. We just keep – look, Alabama's been good to us in the past 2 weeks. That is a verbal commitment for the volleyball team. So good times, good things. And Gilbert, you already know where I'm coming. You already know where I'm going next. We about to start talking about this FAMU football victory and other things the likes there. So before we get ready, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our head coach, Shotgun Willie Simmons, and the Rattlers of FAMU.
Here come the Rattlers. Here they come. Thank you. Had somebody sit in for me to get a little bit of content. I appreciate it. I did not travel out of respect for those who needed fuel. I could spare my 1 tank of fuel so that those who are in need can use it. And a lot of stuff is flooded out in my area. Not gonna lie. My house, we were unscathed. Very blessed. Hedge of protection was all around my house. But before we talk about the game, if you have not been paying attention to our recruiting coordinator, please do it. Check out Coach Tubless on Twitter. You will see that FAMU has continuously probably been one of the most active schools in the SWAC as far as recruiting. I would say Jackson State is probably getting more fruits that we can tangibly see, but there ain't many that are more active, that are visibly active, where the recruits know that we're coming and that we're chasing them. And I'm gonna hit the same high school because we offered like 7 of them, but I only got time for like 5. So Naquan Carr from Colquitt County High School, the Packers, and they defeated my alma mater, the Lincoln Trojans, last week. He's a UGA commit and 2024 receiver. We offered him. We also offered Kamal Bonner, 6'2", 210-pound linebacker, 2023. He's a Georgia Tech commit. Ooh, Coco, y'all got some rivalries going on. Then you got Nick Pace. He's also from Colquitt, running back. And I believe his brother, and as I'm going to say it like the commentator or the PA announcer, Charlie Pace. I love it. I'm sorry. I'm from the South. I miss the Southern accents. But Charlie Pace from Colquitt County High School, 2023 running back, also offered, I believe he's committed to Georgia State. And then we also got Tyshawn Reed, 6'5", 215-pound edge rusher. He also plays basketball, though. So just saying, we just got a basketball commit. It'd be nice to kind of see maybe he can play the 3 or the 4. Another guy from Moultrie, And so, man, and the sidelines have been packed with recruits. Now, mentioning the game from yesterday, if you did not catch the instant review, yeah, I know I try to do an instant review after the games. I didn't do one for the home game that I went to where we play Alabama A&M because I was trying to find a space and I don't know the sound quality. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But man, the game started off kind of hot. Like the block was hot. Like, oh, sorry, y'all know I'm from that generation. But we saw a great mix of the run and the pass. Terrell Jennings, he was sprinkled all over that first drive. Xavier Smith, the X-Man, as some call him. I just call him Professor X because, man, he's a leader. Like, dude's a leader. And man, he gets it. He gets it. He got a deep ball by the 5-yard line. I believe that was an in route that he ran. And then we throw a dig route to him in the corner, and it was beautiful. I mean, he just kind of runs underneath the line of scrimmage. Musa rolls to the right. That bootleg is a problem. Like, if you haven't been watching FAMU football, Musa is a pretty good thrower on the run, especially when he's rolling to his right. And we like the bootleg with Musa. Like, I don't believe I'm sharing anything that nobody's seen. And if you're a coach, you definitely watch more film than me. I just finished rewatching the game. But Valley, they struggle with our defensive line all day. All day, Mississippi Valley State University offensive line, struggled with our defensive line. We were wreaking havoc. And in our second series, though, I'm not going to go series by series. I'm not going to be that detailed. But Manigo got hit for a back shoulder pass. It was really nice. Terrell Jennings to the right. Xavier Smith runs and he gets another in route. Musa gets a nice little pass to K-Dot, and then we get a sack. And that kind of ends the drive. Then this is where Valley is going to get their lone scoring drive. It was 7-0. Then Valley runs the ball they got the kick return deep. The ball was down about their 5-yard line. And then, man, it was like nice run play. Valley's running back is legit. Like, don't be surprised if that dude's not a senior. He's transferring out of there. I'd be very shocked if he stays for next year as well, because that dude, he's got a little what for to him. Nice build, like solid back. I believe he was preseason all swag or mentions. He was one of their guys to look for, and he got a nice run against us. And on the next play, Valley goes 4 wide out of a pistol set, and the kind of looked like at first I looked at him like, did they run play action? So I had to look at that play out 4 times. And it was just a pistol set, bad snap. And that was a problem all day. That was the Achilles heel for Mississippi Valley State as far as them being able to effectively run their offense. The center quarterback exchange was terrible. It was an unmitigated disaster, just to kind of like put it into layman's terms. Like, that was really the turning point of the game. Like, without some of those turnovers, man, and not even turnovers, just mistakes and miscues, the game isn't the same. Like, really, I'll get to it later. That's where the game breaks. But high snap, and to the Valley's quarterback's credit, I don't know how tall he is. I believe they said he was about 6'2". He rolls to the right, and they ran like a screen, a combination of routes. Again, four receiver set in the pistol. On the right side of your screen, what you're going to notice is after the high snap, the quarterback's going to look. The 2 FAMU corners come up, or defensive backs. They come up and they bite on a screen action by the receiver, and the receiver literally stops and stares at the quarterback. He's just looking at him. He doesn't even put his hands up. He just looks at him. And this is the outside receiver. The interior receiver just runs a go route, just streaks. And he runs past the corner, and the guy didn't even look back. Both of them are so focused on the screen action, probably because they see screens so much in practice, because we run a lot of screen off in our offense. The guy's running naked down the field. I mean, just butt naked. I mean, the Valley receiver, the quarterback throws a deep ball. Receiver, he hits the receiver in stride. Receiver makes a slight adjustment, and it's off to the house. Good 60, 70 yards route. And that was their only pass of the game, though. And it was because of eye discipline. If it's not because of the eye discipline of the secondary, I don't think that play happens, because our defensive line got good penetration. Like, part of the reason the play happens is because, one, a terrible snap. Two, the eye discipline of our secondary fails. And I don't know if they just thought that, we were able to get to the guy or whatnot, but it was a mistake. And mistakes happen. Like I'm not raking the students over the coals. I'm not that guy. I'm not that kind of guy. You ain't figured that out. I'm a student-centered person. So I'm gonna hype them up first. But in this case, it was a mistake, and they took advantage of the mistake. They get the deep ball. I would not be surprised if we see that again, though. I would definitely run that screen action just because you kind of see that some of the tendencies that our students see in practice bit them in the tail during the game because we run the screen a lot. That's a lot of what we do. Again, that was the big play, though. And our second scoring drive, though, FAMU's second scoring drive, we ran a play action, fade route to Manigo. Manigo was like mossing people. Like Manigo, he uses his size to defeat the corners. And this is something that I believe Coach Simmons mentioned last week, if I'm not misspeaking, in the post game, where he talked about those kind of 50-50 balls and trying to get those to go our way. I did like our utilization of that. I did miss seeing my boy Goss, the Florida State transfer. We did get our other tight end in the game kind of late, but I would like to see our tight ends use a little bit more just because their size. I feel like they have good ability and that they're effective. That's just my personal opinion. That's my 2 cents. I mean, it's not a judgment. It's I guess a critique and a judgment are the same. So it's a critique. It's not like a harsh judgment, like saying bad things about our coach. But I think it's an idea. But again, we started seeing a lot of McLeod and Jennings all day. Jennings and McLeod, man, like it was a good day. McLeod gave us a nice inside run to the left. Then we tried to run the same thing from the right, from the shotgun formation. His Xavier Smith kind of deep. And then we put Terrell Jennings in the Wildcat. And I did see Scotty's post where it's like, all right, the Wildcat is not inventive. It's not. At this point, the Wildcat is archaic. It was cutting edge like 20 years ago, but you got to consider FAMU doesn't really run it. So I will say for FAMU to run the Wildcat is us throwing some wrinkles into our offense. And I liked it. I like seeing the wrinkles that we added to our offensive playbook this past week. I think offensive special teams, we gave you some things that, crap, I got to look for these 2 extra plays. We ran the pistol a lot more than I'd seen in a few weeks. Last week we ran the I formation. I'm seeing some additions to our offense that I have yet to see in the past couple weeks. I got to check these Gators, see what they're going to do later. I'm not a Gator fan, but I like college football. I forgot they were even supposed to play today. But again, Jennings runs to the Wildcat. I digress. Sorry for the straying there. But it was Jennings to the right the first time. And the first time we ran the Wildcat with Jennings, Jennings gets blown up, but it's not because of anything that the Valley player did. The Valley player is engaged with the FAMU offensive lineman. Go look at it again. And Jennings runs into his offensive lineman and gets knocked on his keister. It's quite funny. It's somewhat butt fumble-esque, but it's like, dude, you got knocked on your butt by your own offensive lineman. Don't run into him. They hate that. The next play, you'll notice Jennings realizes the error of his ways. He runs to the right, and he takes the first play, he takes a very sharp angle going inside. The second time, no. Mama to that man again. I'm not going to run into that guy. I'm going to extend the play out to the right, and he walks into the end zone. FAMU's up 14 to nothing at that point. And really, I think Chris Fadul is going to be our player of the game just because he was integral. As far as without Chris Fadul, man, I don't know what happens. Like the X-Man is there. Like, I'm sorry. Like Xavier Smith, I've given him the Cable Busters TV player of the game almost every single week. And it's because he's flipping earned it. But I can't not give Chris Fadul what's due to him. Like, he's due that. Like, from the onset of the game, coffin corner, kicks, balls dropping at the 1-yard line. Dude is throwing passes like late in the second quarter there. We run a fake punt. Chris Fadul throws the ball. I mean, it's not a dime. I mean, for a guy that hadn't played quarterback since high school, it's a good pass. And the fact that he had to throw it from the punting position, it's a good about 40 yards, 40 yards by the crow, how the crow flies, and gets the first down. We squander it though, man. That second half, that 2-minute offense that we run at the end of the second half needs work, because we were doing good. Like, you figured after the UNC game, you saw where Musa threw a pick being too aggressive. Yeah, okay. I agree. Then we saw last week, looked a lot better. This week, we had the field goal set up. Then we take Jose off the field so that we can try to run a 2-minute offense, and you take a sack. Again, not a brutal criticism of Musa. You already know, if you listen, I'm a Musa McKay man. Like them two, I like them both. I've had Musa since the spring game. I've never wavered from that position. I feel like Musa has slightly better mechanics. Not slightly, a lot better mechanics. But I feel like McKay is just so steady. Like, McKay is that dude that he's just solid. Great guy too. And but with Musa, he's gunslinger. You gamble big, you win big. You gamble big, you lose big. And in this case, we lost big. We got sacked, no timeouts left. Time runs out, and the first person Coach Simmons goes to talk to, Musa, my man, I need to holler at you real quick, bro. You got to throw that ball away, because that was 3 points. Because at that point, the game is a 14-7 game. And Valley, we haven't really rattled them yet. They just haven't been able to get comfortable. But we don't rally Valley until the fourth quarter. I mean, just to be honest with you, the starters are still in the game at the fourth quarter, and we're chucking the ball. Like, we're trying to aggressively play some solid offense, because we just hadn't fully, my Jerry curl hadn't quite curled yet. The activator hadn't activated yet. And really, the activator our Jerry curl wasn't curling right to the fourth quarter. Like, and I asked Coach Simmons about that, and I did not know he had mentioned it until I saw the video before. Like, normally, for those who don't know, the press gets to talk to the coaches after they do their post-game speech and everything to the team. I didn't know. I was like, "Oh, what can we do about getting 60 minutes of football?" He was like, "Hey, we gotta worry about the next game, baby." I'm like, "All right, coach, you got 24-hour rule. I'll see you tomorrow, though. School's out tomorrow here in Orange County, so that's why I'm not skipping work for football. We're actually out because the school I work at, we have no power." But the second half starts. The band doesn't perform at halftime. They stay in the stands, and I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm wondering. We going to Orangeburg? Like that's normally one of our like 3 band trips, because the 101 and the 100 kind of go back and forth a lot of years as far as traveling. I want to see how that works, though. Hopefully that can happen. I know there were talks of kind of setting up a little fund for the band so that us alumni could fund the band so that they can make more trips and more travels. I would like that. I would support it. I ain't gonna tell you I'm gonna give you $3,000, but I give you a little $5, $10 every couple weeks, during football season, when I get paid. Real talk though, like, just being honest though, because I saw where Dr. Cavell, he's doing a band sport thing. FAMU fell out of the top 5, and it's because we ain't traveling. And I was like, I'm not overly upset at that. I understand, but it would be nice for the other schools to see the marching 100 and things like that. But halftime ends, the band doesn't really perform. We do get conversation over the broadcast, and really the first half of the third quarter, if you're going to rewatch it, you can skip it. You're not going to see a lot. FAMU's defensive line dominates. Valley's not really able to do a lot. They kind of start off being able to run the ball kind of effectively, but again, when you got a kicker like Chris Fadul consistently putting the other team in really crappy field position, crappy for them, great for us. Like, it ain't my problem, bro. Like, not my problem that you can't get a good field position. That's on you, baby. That's on you, baby. Like, hey, that's your fault. But for dude was a beast all day. But the game changes when Valley botches another snap. And this can happen like almost 2 drives back to back. They end up on the 1-yard line, and they kind of, End up having to get rid of the ball. Then we get McLeod. Jalen McLeod's going to get a touchdown from the pistol formation. This is the most pistol formation I've probably seen from us this season. Like the oh, it ain't my fault. Did I do that? Anyways, look, y'all, I'm a fool. I'm here for it though. But it was definitely the most I've seen out of the pistol, and I like us running the pistol. To me, I think FAMU's run game, if you're not going to run the I formation with the fullback, because the fullback is kind of a dying position in college football at this point, the pistol is a really great option. It's not as far back from the shotgun. What I don't like about the shotgun running it, and I ain't gonna lie to y'all, you can't see my little Xbox controller, but I took a little off day for half the day. I got a little Xbox in myself. But man, when you run from the shotgun, the running back doesn't get that start. Like he doesn't get that running start where he kind of, y'all remember how running backs used to get the ball, back in my day, when Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders was toting the rock. Yeah, I've turned into that guy. My dad used to talk about Earl Campbell and all these dudes. I used to have to watch the film, but now I'm turning into that guy, Kwame Valdell and Big Kenny Williams. When they was running the ball, they got a head start. Them jokers it said they was like 230. Them dudes like 250. We got 250-pound running backs now, just about. They bought 230. They bought a good 2-piece and a biscuit from 250. Like, or a bad fried chicken Wednesday, and you got McLeod and Jennings at 250. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Like, man, them running from the pistol, they get a nice running start. I'm gonna have to ask Coach about that tomorrow. I'm gonna see if he'll answer it. But they get a running start, and it seems like them getting that running start is the difference between them getting a 2-yard run and a 3 or 4-yard run. And I tell anybody, if you can average 3 yards a carry, I'll take that all day. I'm sorry. If you can guarantee me every play, you're going to give me 3 yards, I would not throw the ball. Why? 3 times 4 is 12. I only need 10 yards to get a first down. I wasn't a mathematician, but I did a 10. The highest of 7 Hills, Florida A&M University, who is going to tomorrow, October 3rd, 1887. What? I'm sorry. I didn't do it right. I represent Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, October 3rd, 1887. What? There you go. You had to do it right. You got to do it right. But we were running from the pistol formation, and we're getting yards. Like, FAMU is actively moving Valley's defensive line around, and they still were kind of getting to Musa a little bit. Like, a lot of the passes where Musa was off or short, some of it was footwork. Like that one kind of, it's a route to the left in the third quarter. Musa just horribly underthrows the ball, but his footwork was threw off his back foot. Like, Buddy knows he's cold. Like, one thing you're not gonna tell Jeremy Musa is that he's not cold. Like that dude, cold as ice. He knows he's talented. But we end up getting pretty much shutting down Valley. We get a bad snap, or Valley gets another bad snap. This time, this fumble results in Isaiah Lamb recovering it, and we get a field goal out of it. Like, I wanted 6, but we got a field goal out of it. Defense pretty much shuts down Valley the rest of the game. The fourth quarter, you can watch it for offensive purposes if you want to rewatch it. And the game's on Facebook and YouTube. I rewatched it on YouTube. But you're really just watching FAMU's offense try to figure out what they want to do, how they want to do it. Like, by the fourth quarter, it's 24-7. The game hasn't got out of hand, but it's about to. It's about to. And Oxendine comes on. All of a sudden, Oxendine left, Oxendine right. And Musa starts targeting Oxendine to the point to where he throws a terrible pass. Well, not terrible. It wasn't a great pass, and Oxendine was covered. But you can see that Oxendine had got his trust, because Oxendine had dropped some passes in the previous games to the point Coach Simmons was talking about it. Even if I remember in Miami, we're down there and he's like, yo, Oxendine's got to catch those balls. Like, the only receiver that was consistent at that point was Xavier Smith. And you seeing, look, the jugs machine, y'all doing something, but the receivers are catching the balls a lot better going into this point. And going into the fourth quarter, Oxendine went off on a drive. Xavier Smith continues to be him. I think he dropped 2 balls in the game. He may have dropped 3, but not many. Runs a post corner for a touchdown, and it was a slick route. I asked him post game, like, yo, hey, Fresh. Sorry, it's our turn. Sorry. And FAMU was still fly at that point, and it was just nice. Like the post corner, he runs the route so smooth, and you continuously see where FAMU uses Xavier Smith very much like that Wes Welker type guy. Like I'm just saying, to me in the NFL, he projects as that kind of guy, and FAMU's using him as that kind of guy. And I think one of the strengths of Willie Simmons is putting guys in schematic positions that you could see them do in the NFL. Like I just saw that. And then after that, that's pretty much our last touchdown of the game. We get a sack fumble. Fumble was recovered by Isaiah Land, the man of his land. Call it Louisiana. That's the new plan. I'm sorry. Look, y'all got me on the no limit thing, so I'm gonna keep it there for a second. Anyways, but FAMU finally gets another field goal, 34-7. And man, it turned out to be a good game as far as overall FAMU dominated. The only really miscue we have is that play where the defensive line comes in on a botch snap by the quarterback, and Valley throws the ball deep because of bad eye discipline. Other than that, it was a good game. If you're looking, the big takeaways for it are going to be FAMU's offense has got to figure out how to play 60 minutes of football. That's got to be said, and that's not, again, y'all already know I'm not a hard critique on like football, but that's something Coach Simmons even said. Like I'm somewhat regurgitating, but it's something we all saw. Like, dang it, man, we got to play 60 minutes of football. When are we gonna play 60 minutes of football? I will commend though. We had a good run pass mix. And these are gonna be my takeaways. Takeaways from the FAMU Mississippi Valley State game presented by Cable Busters. 3 devices, $35, live sports, live local channels. Big takeaways. FAMU's got to be able to figure out how we can play 60 minutes of football because our next game is against South Carolina State. And if you watch the Celebration Bowl like I did, let's be honest. One thing Buddy Pugh is not going to do, mess up a lead. I almost cussed. He ain't going to mess up a lead. If Buddy Pugh gets a lead, he's going to sit on it. Like he's just going to run the ball until it's just over. That's why, again, Celebration Bowl, if you watch the game and you are familiar with how Buddy Pugh runs his offense, you knew Jackson State was in trouble when they got that lead. And it was like, yeah, Buddy Pugh about to salt this game away because he's a good coach. He's experienced. He's a very good X's and O's guy. Like Buddy Pugh gets a lot from a little. I can't find many people who have the recruiting footprint that he has that gets that much out of it. If he could effectively utilize the neighboring states like Florida and Georgia, and we're not neighboring South Carolina, but it's not a long ride, that would be a problem. Like he gets a lot out of North Carolina and South Carolina and a few out of Georgia. But if he ever figures out how to use the transfer portal, yeah, South Carolina State gonna be a problem. But in this game, I think FAMU's got a couple advantages. Again, big takeaways. We got to figure out how to get 60 minutes of football played. That's something that has to happen because FAMU's defensive line is coming into its own. It sucks that Isaiah Land missed the UNC game because you can see it watching the Jackson State game. He was kind of figuring it out, and it was like, man, God bless it. If this dude had that extra game, he would have been a little further along. And dadgummit, if he had that extra game now, man, he would have been so much further along because he realizes I'm not going to get the stats I got last year. And you can see where he was a little upset about it. Like post game, I asked him about it. And go watch the post game. It's on YouTube. Shout out to Josh Padilla. We don't say a lot, but Josh Padilla, the sports information director at FAMU, does a great job and a yeoman's task. And he has helpers. He has students that help him. But my goodness, that dude does amazing work. If Josh is watching this, dude, hats off to you. I would take us off, but I got a little skelly up on here. I told you I'm woofing it out so that when I do cut it, I ain't unlike y'all. I'm trying to be cute for homecoming too. I'm trying to have these waves for homecoming. And y'all already know if you grow your hair out a little bit and you make sure it's good moisturized and you cut it, the dogs coming in. So I'm trying to have them dogs for homecoming. I'm trying to be cute. I ain't trying to snag nobody. I got one, but I'm trying to be cute for homecoming. Tighten up the beard at the tighten up the beard too, but I'm trying to keep it thick. Like I'm supposed to be Killmonger for homecoming for Halloween. So, but I'm gonna try to add them waves nice and slicked up for y'all when I'm on the field. But that being stated, though, again, got to play 60 minutes of football. Got to continue to mix up the offense and the defense as far as like offense defense to run the pass. Sorry, slip. We got to mix that up, man. Our run pass looked good in this game, partially because you can tell that when we realize we can dominate a team, Coach Simmons is going to attack that. He is very smart. He is very smart about, oh crap, this is something that has continuously worked, and we're just going to keep doing that. I'm not going to stop doing something. Now, occasionally he does like to experiment, which is frustrating, but that's every person. Like, all right, well, this is working. Let me try this. And just to kind of see if he can expand the offense. But once you got a stick going, I ain't gonna lie to you. Coach Simmons, for better or worse, will call the same bleeping play over and over and over again. If you seen the movie Baby as kids, whoop, you wanna, that is literally Willie Simmons. Sometimes he will literally, we saw it with the Terrell Jennings Wildcat play. You're in the same play twice. FAMU routinely runs those combination routes with Xavier Smith because they work. I mean, let's not lie about it. They work. So, and I don't know what happened over here on the other one, but they do work, and because they work, that's why we continue to run them and we continue to do them. I personally think that going forward, though, we've got to be able to continue to use our multiple route combinations, and the receivers have to catch the ball. That's something that we got to work on. We have to continue to mix the running game. I definitely saw where the running back from the freshman from Rickards, he stated, hey, I'm going to be back next week. Like, okay. Because we got a lot of thunder, but we're missing that dude that running back that got that little Bishop Bonnet about him. Like I know Bishop ain't playing football no more. He's doing really well for himself as far as with construction and stuff. But we're missing that dude that's got that give you just that dude's got that extra thing to him, that lightning, as we like to say, but that speed burst. We're missing that. And I think we'll get that back because that's just something we need. We need that. We also need the defense to work on the eye discipline. That was the only touchdown. Like, again, that's the only really bad critique I can have. But this week, we got to work on the jump ball. That jump ball is going to be there. That has been a problem all season. And I know I'm kind of jumping into my South Carolina State preview, but after a win like this, man, you kind of got a little bit of your walk is a little different. Granted, Mississippi Valley State hadn't won a game this season, so you got to take it with that much of a grain of salt. But to come out there and show that in the second half, we can really light it up and we can do some amazing things. That's a good thing. And that's a positive thing, man. Yeah, got the beard oil. I ain't gonna lie, Gilbert, I got the beard oil, man. I got look, everybody don't have the nice thick beards. Like I can't get it, but yeah, man, we got to look for that jump ball. I'm gonna talk about that more on Thursday. But again, big takeaways from the game. Got to play 60 minutes of football. The offense has got to kind of get in sync earlier, but a great mixing of the pass and the run. If Willie Simmons is watching this, and I'm not going to be that person that's petty. Like, I know he watches my show. I don't know if he does or doesn't, but hopefully he does. Great job mixing the pass and the run. Love seeing how much Terrell Jennings is in there. And I especially love the use of the pistol. I was annoyed that we didn't, to me, properly use the I formation last week, but man, the pistol, I think that's a great thing. We're going to need that. Like, I think that's just giving us a little something that you're going to see for the rest of the season. I would have liked to see some of that in Jackson as well, more of it. And I probably need to go back and rewatch that film, kind of set it on fire because I don't want to see it no more. But that was a big thing, man. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Exactly. Like, that was something that worked last year. I felt like we went away from it. Bring that back next week. Like, the pistol formation was a great addition. The combination routes, that post corner is nice, but be careful. South Carolina State's got a corner that he gave Spencer Rattler a little hell. I mean, they got their tails kicked, but I think he got an interception or two against University of South Carolina. So be careful with the combination routes. And if we're gonna run the combination routes, man, wouldn't it be nice to have Oxendine kind of coming underneath, like Oxendine on the far left or far right, wherever you want, and just kind of having that post corner there by Xavier Smith, but then having either Oxendine or Gross or Goss, running that little drag route underneath, maybe running back, running to the backfield. I'm just saying, coach, I think we got some route combinations because another takeaway is Moose was holding the ball too long, and sometimes he is being greedy. Like, I like Musa, but sometimes greedy gets got, and he's greedy. But other times it's just the route combinations. Like, sometimes the routes just take too long, and we really trust our offensive line to dominate when they really can't always dominate. I mean, we saw with our tackle, he got his lunch handed to him for a few weeks, but then he finally figured it out. Like, I got to give the guy credit where credit is due. He figured it out. And so that was something that a positive growth from our offensive line throughout the season. And also remember, you got a freshman starting. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, TJ Demons keeps putting up good film. We're gonna need an NIL person to pay that kid because he's starting as a freshman and he ain't looking bad. Like, he literally came out of Central Catholic in where is that? Is that Clearwater? No, I think it's Clearwater Central Catholic. If I'm wrong, it's because it's not in front of my face. So I'm not going to say I'm speaking with authority at that. But he comes as a freshman and he's starting because of injuries and whatnot. But he looks good. Like, that's going to be something that, keep an eye out going forward, especially to the offseason. But we probably need to run routes that are a bit shorter just to give Musa a chance to get into a rhythm because, man, when Musa gets in a rhythm and he sets his feet, that dude's a killer. Like, again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, look, let me put Gilbert's comment up there because he's right. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, that's one of the things. You got to recognize that. Defensively, I liked what I saw. Like, I did feel like we did depend a lot on our defensive line. That's part of our game, though. We depend on our defensive line, and we keep everything in front of us. It looked like a better game execution. We can take advantage of that. South Carolina State's quarterback is not accurate. I'm not saying that the guy's not good. He's not accurate, but he is a stereotypical scrambler. And he has a tall receiver or two, especially that number one, I believe, that we got to watch out for that because we saw where eye discipline can cost you. And we're going to need those big safeties to kind of be in there. And do we get some guys back? Because my last takeaway, FAMU's linebackers, woo, FAMU may have the best linebacking room in the Eastern Division of the SWAC. Like, I'm not trying to be biased, but FAMU's linebacker room is good, and those dudes fly around the field. So those are the big takeaways. Oh, and our Cable Busters TV player of the game, Chris Fadul. Xavier Smith, y'all tied. We really should have co-players because the X-Man goes over 100 yards. I asked him post-game, I was like, what is about Bragg? Because something about Bragg, it just hit different. Like, he's like, it's the home fans. Y'all know how he talk. I love it. I love it. I love it. Polk County, and my wife's down there right now in Polk County. But, man, I love it. Xavier Smith, really humble dude, too. He ain't going to sit up there and say, I did this and I did that. But it's a lot of I did this and I did that and that guy. But he's so humble. But Fadul is our player of the game. You drop a punt on the 1 yard line. You coffin corner another punt. You throw passes. Like, the dude has did everything but sell popcorn. Like, I'm just saying, like, did he sneak over at halftime and help out the volleyball team or the softball team with the snacks? Just asking for a friend. Like, that is the big takeaways from the game, though. So, again, FAMU wins 34-7. Huge recruiting day. I have not seen the notifications, but I do know, or I have been told. I don't say no. I have been told, and then this isn't from Coach Tubless, so he hadn't told me this. Last time I saw him was at the stadium. we spoke for a moment. So I don't DM him and everything else. I do everything freelance for the most part. But supposedly they're trying to bump up the number of recruits for the homecoming game. So you be on the lookout. That game's going to be on Swole. The Florida Classic, I don't know how the recruits work with that. I may have to ask questions, but y'all know I ain't afraid to ask no questions. We're going to see how that works out too. But 2 more home games. Homecoming is going to be nuts. You already see what the hotel prices are like. Make sure you are there. It's going to be a vibe. So the team is going to be away for a month. We got South Carolina State. We got Grambling. 34-7 FAMU wins at home. The volleyball team comes from behind in the capital city of Alabama to get a win. Then we also have the golf team. They're going to go to work tomorrow. Them and the volleyball team are working tomorrow. Josh, man, you the dude. Basketball got a commitment. Volleyball got a commitment. And again, just another great day to be a Rattler, y'all. Thank y'all, especially to Gilbert, man. Big shout out to you, Gilbert. Man, you are the super fan of the day, man. That is our guy right there. I appreciate you, man. And it is Fangs Up as always. Thank you to HBCU Digital Network. Thank you to the Black Techies. My guy, Herb Seward. They're going to be live on Saturday, 6 p.m. They go twice a month. Get notified on the new text gadgets and happenings about. I'm going to have to ask him because I'm ordering. I just ordered a new camera. We're trying to update our stuff. So I'm going to have to bother him. It's like, hey, bro, I need some questions. We're on the network together. Also, Cable Busters TV. Thank you for your sponsor. $35 gets you live sports, live local TV, and it's on up to 3 devices. So that means like your front room, your bedroom, and one of the kids. Y'all know the kids be trying to watch stuff. Had them hooked up and everything like that. But as always, y'all, it's going to always be Fangs Up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started. Are you kidding me? Unreal.
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it?